Hey everyone, and welcome to the 64th episode of We're All in the Same Boat. I'm your host, Luke Roxold, and today I am here with Michael.
Hey, what's up?
Nick.
Yo.
And Shayne.
Rest in peace to Mac Miller.
Yeah, indeed. There's a couple people that have passed away in the last couple of days, but we can't talk about that yet because I wanted to say that we've been getting a lot of attention on the last episode, which is really, really cool.
Ooh.
We've gotten a bunch of reviews on the podcast as well, which is awesome.
Wow, really? Awesome.
So thank you everyone who's been leaving those reviews. It's awesome. And I want to encourage everyone else. We don't get any money from this. Oh, what, Shayne?
I just wanted to know. Sorry.
What?
I just wanted to know, are those reviews from iTunes or where are they from?
Yeah, they're on iTunes.
They're from all over the place. Okay.
I don't know who they're from. I know there was a couple of people I asked to review it because I was like, oh, you like the podcast? Can you leave a review? But there's other reviews that I have no idea who they came from. So, we're getting up there. But all I was going to say is that we do this podcast for free. We don't make any money off this podcast. And so if you like this podcast, there's no advertising. We don't make any money. So if you really want to help us out and make us feel great about it, the reviews are really cool. So if you go to iTunes, search for our podcast, and all you have to do is scroll down and hit the 5 stars. That's it. You don't even have to leave a review or anything. You just hit it. It goes through and it's done. And you make us all really happy. So if you really want to help out the podcast, that'd be awesome. So anyway, as always, you can also
if you really don't like it, you can review it honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you can say whatever you want as long as you give us 5 stars.
Negative attention is...
Guys, I just want to finish the intro, please.
I thought you were finished.
Sorry, Luke.
You can check us out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. All the places that you can listen to podcasts. Thanks for listening. Let's get into the episode, starting off by saying, rest in peace, East Coast.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I hope you guys survive.
Oh, yes.
Florence and the Machine are coming.
Ha 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 ha.
Okay.
The dog days are over.
Actually, they're getting ready to start.
I was at a hurricane party. Last night.
What?
I mean, define party, but it was just like a chill hangout thing, I guess.
But it was, yay, a storm!
Well, it was just like, we're all acknowledging the fact that, we could die. So let's have a little hurrah.
Party like a rock star, because this might be it.
So yeah. So then someone had said something about the dog days being over, and I was like, I get your reference.
I get it.
And technically they are, because don't the dog days refer to like summer, like the hot days of summer?
Isn't it like
I have no idea.
Does anyone even know where the hurricane's going to hit? Because I keep hearing that...
It's going to hit... It was supposed to hit originally in North Carolina, but now apparently it's supposed to be hitting South Carolina and then going up from there. So hopefully us people in Virginia will be getting hit less than we would have been initially. So that's some good news.
That is good news. You guys are going to survive.
Yeah.
I know that you guys were talking to me about all the water is gone. There's no more bread.
Nope.
All the grocery stores are just empty. Everyone's freaking out as normal.
I have a buddy that's not freaking out. It's kind of interesting. He's in North Carolina. I don't know if he was joking or not, but he hasn't moved at all. He's in Raleigh, so.
Oh, man.
He's the guy who's going to die.
That's sad.
I'm serious.
He'll be Mac Miller.
The thing is, it's like...
Don't say that.
No, but I mean, like, you think about the person who's always the calm guy that's like, no, I'll be fine. And then like, yeah, well, you're going to be the one who goes if anybody goes. It's going to catch up with you one day.
I made a funny joke today. Yeah, I made a funny joke today on Facebook about it. Why I think it's kind of funny, and a lot of people have been laughing at it, so whatever. But I said I'm like laughing at the fact that the one time that Virginia Beach was prepared for like some type of natural disaster type of situation, like everyone's been preparing since last week. It's not even gonna hit us that hard anymore. I'm like, the one time we come together as a community and we're like, we're ready. It's like
the one time you study for a test. It's like the professor's like, never mind.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I feel like.
After all those people who bought all that food.
Oh yeah, I remember that happening every single time there was. Every time there was snow or a hurricane, everyone in Virginia was like, "Oh, this is the end!" and like run to get bread. I don't know what it is about bread and milk that everyone thought was so important.
I think it's just because bread has a lot of like calories and carbs, and you use less energy to survive. If that's all you have,
I guess.
That's my theory.
Out of all the things that you could buy, bread.
I guess potatoes take like an hour to cook.
What about like beans?
You gotta cook beans. You don't gotta cook bread. Bread's already cooked.
Well, you do with that attitude. You can get beans in a can and just eat them without cooking them. I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know why it is.
You could. I used to do that
rules.
when I was 4.
I still kind of do that, to be honest.
Get a load baked beans. Baked beans are so good.
Nick, you need standards for yourself. How dare you?
My standards for food have gone down since
Eating
I've
cold
tried to
beans. No, just
be
kidding.
more healthy. I will sacrifice taste and everything just
Really?
to make sure that it's like beans.
Yeah,
and
you're
not,
like, dude,
like,
gains.
and not like cheese pizza or something. I don't know.
Well, Michael, you were talking about the turntables have flipped.
Yeah. I was just telling Luke before the
What?
turntables have been turning. I was just telling Luke, I've been trying to lose weight recently for the first time in my entire life. I never had weight to lose before. It's crazy.
Yeah, Michael's like,
I've
oh
never-
man, you guys,
I've
I
never
just
had
keep
weight to
eating
lose
food
before.
and I can't gain any weight.
Yeah,
It's like,
bulking
will you
season. Now
shut
he's on
up,
cut.
Michael?
It's cut season, Luke. Cut season.
Yeah. So I've been bulking for like 2 years. I weighed like 145, and now I'm at 185.
That's
pretty
great. That's
excited.
gold.
That's good though.
TBH?
That's a good
Yeah.
bulk.
Yeah.
I'm not super like
Like,
swole
I'm
looking.
envious.
This is part of what losing weight is gonna help me do, I guess. But dude, I was so stoked because the other day I was 190 a couple weeks ago. And I was like, dude, sweet. I checked my BMI. My BMI was like 25.9, and I was like, dude, I'm overweight. Yes. I've always wanted to be overweight, so I'm super stoked. And I'm gonna start cutting. So I got that. So
Really?
I've lost 4 pounds already. I'm about like 186, 184, depending on when I poop, like when I'm weighing myself. But cutting sucks. I was telling Luke, like, when you're bulking, like, you have so much energy and you just eat whatever you want and you're just like going hard in the gym. But when you're cutting, like, you're so tired. Like, I'm already hungry in general when I'm eating a lot of food. And now I'm eating a little bit of food and I'm hungry, like, no matter what. And it's really sucky. And the past couple weeks I haven't done very good, but I'm about to get back on it. But yeah, it's a new, I don't know how, like, if anyone's ever tried this, but losing weight is really hard. So
Yeah, it is.
That's right. I don't think anyone's ever tried to figure this out, but it's kind of like a puzzle.
for the first time, like, well, like most of my friends I work out with and stuff are all trying to lose weight, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had that problem
Yeah.
because it's not easy to gain weight. Even though I'm fat now, it wasn't easy.
Dude,
It's taking
yeah,
me
I know, but like
years to get this fat.
once you're
I
trying to
think it's
lose
good to
weight,
lose
though,
weight.
the thing about gaining weight is it's like you're maybe miserable while you're eating because you're like, I can't eat enough food. But when you're trying to lose
Yeah.
weight, you're just hungry all day long
Yeah.
I'm
for
already hungry
multiple
already.
days in a row.
I don't
You're not,
find that
but
an
you're,
issue.
but Michael, you're not like really hungry. You're just like, I could eat more food. But like when you're hungry, like your stomach is rumbling all day.
My stomach is rumbling all the time.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like I get legit hungry like super fast. I think it's also I have a small stomach, so I'll be full pretty quickly, and then I'll just get up, and I'm like, oh man, it's empty again.
Okay, well then I'll put it this way. Imagine being hungry all the time, but you don't even get to enjoy eating any food. Like you're
that's
hungry, but you don't get the
That's
satisfaction.
what
of
it
eating.
is
Like
to
kids in
gain weight.
Africa.
I'm hungry all the time.
it's
and it's
also
You
not
get to
available
enjoy
eat.
some of what you're eating, though.
Yeah, because like if you're trying to bulk, you can eat like a pizza, and it's not that bad. You know, like you're not like you might get a little fatter, but you're trying to get fat anyway. Like it's fine. But if you're cutting and you like eat a whole pizza, like oh man, now I can't eat for like 3 days.
Yeah.
So there's the difference. Like when I first started working out, I literally just for like 6 months just ate everything I could because I couldn't physically eat enough food like in my belly to like get the calories I was trying to get, and that was awesome. And then when I was eating healthy, that was still pretty good because I was eating a lot of food. It was healthy food, and now losing weight is just terrible. I don't know why
Eating
people do
healthy
that.
food is good no matter what, though. Even if
Healthy
you're
food is
bulking or
great.
cutting.
The hard
Except it
part is
doesn't-
just like
except it
prepping
doesn't taste good.
Yeah,
No,
but
it tastes pretty good.
that's probably the more important part, though, is that it's healthy rather than like for bulking or cutting. Like,
Well,
I love that I'm the only one being really honest about this. Like, yeah,
No, dude.
vegetables kind of suck.
My-
Actually, vegetables are pretty not comparatively. They're not.
I like my
like
healthy food.
veggies.
I don't. I'll give you this.
See,
I don't
here
like
we go.
broccoli.
We're still doing it.
I
it's a
don't like
mindset,
broccoli,
Luke. It's
but
a
I eat broccoli
mindset.
every day because it makes me strong. But
Yeah, exactly.
I
I mean,
I've gotten really good at making chicken breast. I've gotten good at I love green beans. I like vegetables. I
Greens,
like pork
beans,
chops. I love
tomatoes,
potato. I love
potatoes.
sweet potatoes.
Well, I'm really happy for you, Michael.
You're,
I love
thank
sweet
you.
potatoes. I used to hate those things.
Me
but they're
too.
pretty good now.
I used to hate sweet potatoes too, and I made them myself. And they get better the more they sit there. Like if you leave them in your fridge for a couple of days, they get all sweet and gooey.
Yeah, because it's actually good for you.
Yeah.
It tastes
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
But
Luke, you don't know anything about healthy food.
Luke, you need to come down here and try my
Luke,
potatoes.
lose weight.
That's
Jeez.
I'll give you my
right.
chicken
That's
breast.
right.
Try my chicken
Fatty.
breast.
Whatever. Whatever. I know. I gotta exercise
Luke,
more.
come here. I'll show you what breast is
is
supposed to taste like.
Why are you in a bad mood, Luke?
I just am. Okay. We're not gonna talk about this. I am in a bad mood though, I'll explain some of this. So it's just been like a long day at work. I didn't get as much stuff done as I wanted to, and then it was like, oh, we gotta do this podcast today instead of tomorrow because some people might not be around tomorrow. Good luck, Shayne and Michael.
Yeah, we'll miss you guys.
But
Hey, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna be here. So that's all I gotta say. I'm not
I'm gonna
dying.
be here. Here.
But on top of that, we just had kind of a really intense podcast episode that took a lot of preparation. It was a concept or it was a what am I trying to say? Not concept. Content?
Sure.
Topic. It was a topic that wasn't I was trying to think of a word that would convey what I meant. It was a topic that was difficult to not be on edge about because I didn't want to say something wrong. And people already have some problems with some of the stuff that I said on the podcast, but whatever, that happens. Actually, I know that Nick, you wanted to address that, so I'll let you do that in a second. But
Oh man, yeah.
did you still want to address it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
all right, I'll let you do it in a second.
okay.
So we just had a really kind of stressful episode. You're on eggshells. You know, everyone's like looking over your shoulder saying like, we didn't do everything perfectly. It's difficult when you're on a podcast. You can't always remember everything you wanted to say and it's stressful. And anytime you if you just slip up a little bit, you're basically just having everyone kibitz on everything you're doing. And it's just stressful. So I thought that this episode was going to be a little bit more lighthearted and we're kind of shifting into another serious topic that I don't know anything
Make it
about.
lighthearted.
I don't know anything about this topic really, and
I just had really one thing to say. That's all.
all right, that's it. Anyway, that's all I know.
I know how we can make it lighthearted. We can talk about the world, or not, maybe not the world, but everyone's obsession with Baby Shark, do 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 do, and how I knew that song way before anyone else knew what it was.
I knew that song before it was cool.
I'm just worried that
I did.
because I'm in a bad mood that
that
we're
song,
talking.
too.
You're
Since we're
gonna say
talking.
something bad, and then people are gonna be like, "Wow, Luke, you're a jerk."
And you're gonna
You're
get
a
No, it's
fired.
not. I don't.
Everyone will
Here's the
hate
thing.
you.
I don't even think I'll say something
And you'll never
bad.
find love.
I just won't say something careful, and then it's like, well, you didn't use the perfect word.
You
And
weren't
then-
PC.
and then-
You weren't PC.
Yeah.
Right.
This is
Poor
America
sports.
in 2018, Luke. Got to be PC. People have feelings.
Speaking of being PC, Nick, did you want
Everyone's got to
to
win.
did you want to take the floor and
Speaking
clarify?
of being PC,
Well,
Max
just real
the
quick.
better.
Yeah. I guess this isn't really I don't know. This isn't really PC to me. It just seems necessary. Well, I guess like looking back when I was listening to the podcast, I did notice that my ranty attitude and tone and I guess that sarcastic nature, that humorous nature was not evident in my words or in my tone really at all. And so people might have gotten the wrong impression of what I was trying to say. I really do take these issues seriously. That's what I was trying to communicate. If you didn't understand that, it might have been because of the tone, but I was just ranting for the sake of ranting. It wasn't like I'm not actually I don't actually hate this guy that I'm talking about, Colin. So anyway, I was just trying to highlight that when someone has a degree, it doesn't mean they're a super smart person. Like Donald Trump's an Ivy League grad. So anyway, okay, moving on.
Well, the story doesn't matter how smart Nick is. He's stupid.
I am an idiot. Let's be fair, though.
Let's be fair. I am an
Everyone's
idiot.
right because I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm
That's
talking
right.
about.
Okay.
Let's be honest.
Right.
We're all in the same boat.
We're all in
all
the
idiots
same.
together.
Boom, that plug within the podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, it
Leave
was
us a
all-
review and make us feel better. Remember, we were all talking
That's
about
the
being annoyed and
intro.
irritating. So why
Did
don't
that
you
just
leave us a
blow
review
your
and make us feel
mind?
better? Boom.
That's a 60-minute intro. No one would have expected that.
That's right.
Like 60 minutes.
So Serena, what did you want to say about Serena, Shayne?
Oh, I mean, like whoa, okay, dude.
Just go right into it.
Nick's
You
like,
ready?
Nick's like,
Go.
I'm the host now.
I'm trying to help
feel
Luke
like
I'm the
out.
captain now.
That's
No,
fine.
you have to
Thank you, Nick.
You have to like set up the story before you ask an opinion.
Nick's like, all right, I'm stupid. Anyway, so Shayne,
I was like, what? I wasn't
Speaking of
prepared.
tone,
You have to set up. You have to set up the story. Tell us what's going
Right. So
on.
let's start off with this. Something happened. Was it
the U.S. Open.
Tuesday? When was it?
It was like just a few
Saturday.
days.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess
I
it was the
saw it
weekend.
live. I saw it.
Okay, so there was
at
a
the bar.
big.
ago, and you were actually there.
I saw it when it was
God.
actually happening on the TV
Oh, just
at the
kidding.
bar.
So
Sorry.
I just have no like motivation to be very controlling.
Oh my-
so I'm
okay.
just like whatever.
Say it, Luke.
Well, it was so this event happened. Nobody here watches tennis, I'm assuming, except for apparently Nick. For like, do you normally
No.
watch it, or did you just happen to watch this one?
Oh, I was literally just at the taco bar.
It was. It
was on
just
TV. And I was like, whoa.
Never watched tennis. I've never watched tennis a day in my life.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun sport. Yeah. I
Can
enjoy
As a
it.
roommate
Can we
today, I
get
was
some?
like,
Oh, go ahead, Michael.
I was like, hey man, how does tennis scoring work? He's like, dude, I don't know. I was like, you played tennis once, like literally one time. He has a scar on his arm from when he played tennis one time. I'm like, you know, like infinitely more than I do. Teach me your ways. He's like, bro, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. How much is love? I don't know. But 15 love happens all the time.
Yeah, I know. the point scoring is really weird in tennis.
What is love? Yeah.
All right, I gotta figure out how to make this organized because we're going all over the place.
Who was talking before I talked?
Serena Williams is a person who is not without controversy, from what I remember. Does anyone know what happened with her like 8 months ago or a year ago, something
At
like
the
that?
At the French place, the French Open.
Now, wasn't there some controversy with her where she was getting compared to a man
I
or
read-
something?
Oh, I don't know about that, but
Nick, did you hear about this? Hold on, before we move on, Shayne. Nick, did you hear about this?
I just know that she has a daughter. That's all I really know.
I thought, okay, I guess nobody knows about this. I don't know enough about it, but I think what happened before
A
was
new daughter. That's all I know.
someone was saying something about like she's the best woman player and not the best player, and then someone was like, "Why are you
John
saying she's-"
McEnroe.
Right? Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah, he was on Colbert and he said, or he wasn't on Colbert. He talked about it on Colbert, but I forget where exactly he said it. It may have been like a ESPN, but he basically said Serena Williams would rank not even close to the top in the men's rank, but she is the best woman. But that would put her really low, like on the men's rank.
Right, like number
Oh, yeah,
27
I
or
remember that.
something.
I didn't know
like
that was
Or,
about, I
yeah.
didn't know that started with Serena
Yeah, so
Williams.
that's
I heard
all
the
I know
story.
about her, and I don't know if that was her who got upset about that, or people got upset at her on behalf of that. I don't know, and so
People got
basically,
upset on behalf.
when I don't know anything about her really. I just know that like when people were like, "Hey, Luke, Serena Williams is in another controversy, and it's because she broke her racket." And people are being sexist. I just was like, I don't care about anything. I'm so sick of everything, and I didn't even watch the videos, so I don't know anything about this. So I'm
I literally
with
got those
the
for you.
audience,
I sent them to you.
and I told you I wasn't going to watch them,
And I told you to watch them.
and
after
I
you told me
didn't.
that. You slut.
First of all,
Haley
Haley Williams would be very disappointed in you.
Oh,
We were just talking about how Paramore isn't playing Misery Business anymore. At live
So
shows.
help me
That's another
figure
day.
this out,
Okay.
because I was
so
a slut and didn't watch the videos. Apparently,
In the past, yeah, you have been. That's okay.
it's okay.
Anyway, in the past, like 4 hours, I've been learning everything there is to know about tennis.
Woo!
What I've learned is that the numbers aren't real. And there are these kids who hang out on the side and just like
counting
run out.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's kids who hang out on the sides and they just like run up and pick up the balls for everybody. Even though they'll go onto the opposite side of the court instead of just having one person on one side, one person on the other. It's like really awkward. They run across everybody. Anyway, so from what I understand, Serena Williams was playing against Naomi Osaka, and I think Naomi was winning at this point. And I literally don't understand the numbers, but there was more numbers on Naomi's side on the clips that I saw, and the ref gave her a warning or penalty. They get 3 of whatever these are. Because her coach had made like a symbol.
She didn't get
with his
any
hands.
warnings for anything, which is the main part of her point.
Okay, so she got a penalty then, and he was like, "Oh, coaching from the box, which is a rule," and she was like, "No, like he wasn't coaching me, and if he did, I didn't see it. Like I don't cheat. It's not what I do. Like you've seen me, you've been reffing me for like years. You know I don't do that." And she was kind of pissed about that, and he was kind of like, "Yeah, whatever." And then she was like, throughout the match, she was kind of mad about it, and she would keep like talking to him about it. She wasn't really being like really mean. She was just really mad about that thing. She wasn't like being a jerk about it. She was just bringing it up like every time she had a chance. And then she like got really frustrated and like threw her racket on the ground and broke it. And the guy gave her another penalty for that, which from what I've researched, that's like a normal thing. It's not like what she's disputing. But then after that, she was like, "You stole that point from me. Like you're a thief." And then he like goes like verbal abuse, like game penalty or whatever, and that's what people.
Right, so she
are
lost
disputing.
like, didn't she lose like the whole round?
Yeah, so she lost the whole round there.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And so Naomi got the.
Yeah, so then Naomi won. I think Naomi was probably gonna win anyway, maybe, but Serena was definitely thrown off her game by all the penalty stuff. She was like super distracted. But on the bright side, Serena was super duper cool afterwards. Because people in the crowd kind of noticed what was going on, and they were like booing and stuff. And she was kind of like, no, like don't stop booing. Let Naomi have her moment. She played really well. Like she deserved to win.
Yeah.
Also, side note, Naomi like was like a fan of Serena Williams since she was a kid.
Yeah,
I just imagine it
that's
must be
her
so
big-
cool
that's
to
like
go
her
and like
idol.
play against your favorite player and beat them. That's like the coolest thing ever. I
Yeah,
would like crap my
but-
pants.
I actually didn't know
For the
that.
moment,
Sorry.
yeah, for the moment to be completely ruined by everything else going on around it, and it's like you don't. For me, if I was her, and I've watched a few interviews with her, and she thinks she said something similar to the fact that it's like, oh yeah, excited that I won, but like at the same time, did I really like win because of all the stuff that was like going on?
Yeah.
And it just takes away from the entire moment.
Even
like, you
when
can't
she
even
won.
enjoy playing with your favorite tennis player of your entire life, and then just like
Right.
Even when she won, she was like, "I'm sorry, guys. Like, I'm sorry that it had to be this way." And it's like,
Yeah.
it's really sad that she felt like she had
it
to
wasn't a
apologize.
completely fair win. And so I think
Yeah.
any person who would win something like that would kind of feel that way. It's like, okay, like I won, sure, but
I think
by
though, from what I
default,
saw,
technically.
from my limited like knowledge and like of tennis and what I saw from people say like commenting on it, apparently like Ahsoka is from Star Wars. Osaka. I don't know which one's real now.
I was thinking
But-
this girl's from Star Wars.
Osaka.
Apparently, like people were saying that she was like beating Serena early on. I think she was. I don't understand the numbers, like I said, but she had a 6 and Serena had a 3 when I saw it. So I think that means she won or she was winning. So she might have won on her own. But yeah, like it definitely doesn't help because people could say like, oh man, well even she would say like Serena was just off her game. Like she probably would have played better. It kind of sucks. It's kind of like
That's
if
true.
you're playing a game with somebody or if you're fighting somebody and like they're all distracted and doing something else and you beat them, it's like, well, you didn't really beat them because you're stronger. You just beat them because they were doing something
Yeah,
else.
but I would say that that's kind of a factor for any sport where
It
it's
is.
just
there are
like
distractions.
you're be like, oh well, the
Competition,
win was a
yeah.
little bit harder, so it's not fair. And it's like, well, there's always going to be factors that exist. Now, the only thing that I would say that makes it different is that it's a ref. So like the ref is causing distractions, so it's kind of like, oh, that's not good because it's a referee.
Yeah.
We can all
apparently,
agree
like,
that tennis is dumb. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand this. I don't know how to read this stuff.
It's fun. I like it.
It's like, you guys are such poor sports. Like I'm just saying it's funny because it's like, wait, so like if you get penalized, you lose a whole round? I don't know that in any other sport, and so I don't know how to react to
You
that.
got penalized 3.
Penalized,
You get penalized
yeah.
3 times.
Did she
And
get
then you
penalized
lose.
3 times?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what happened.
She
Coaching,
got
breaking her
penalized for
racket, and then
coaching, breaking the
verbal
racket, and
abuse.
for verbal abuse, quote unquote.
so-
And you're a pussy. I'm sorry, you're a pussy if you get called a thief and you think that's verbal abuse.
Well, what are the
Yeah, for
rules?
I don't know
so-
the rules, but even
I don't know
so,
the rules.
like, that's
But,
a
like,
pussy.
Yeah. Most
well,
people
the-
agree, like, maybe the verbal abuse was kind of like whatever because...
She called him a name, though.
Right.
Yeah, but people
But
have
he's
pointed
supposed
out
to do that, I think.
People have pointed out that other people have like said way worse things,
worse
and the guy would,
things.
and the ref would give
Yeah.
him kind of like a warning, like, "Hey
Here's
man,
what I
like
don't.
you already
Well,
have."
okay. Here's where
Hey,
I'm going
hey,
to jump
hey,
in.
I'm about to make a point real quick, and then you can go. This is
I've
actually
already-
it's valuable. Like
Fine.
there's, okay, there's been like this guy, I forgot who, I don't know his name. He was a tennis guy, and he was saying that in the matches that he's seen, like generally with a guy, the ref will say, "Hey man, like you already have 2 strikes. I don't want to give you a 3rd strike or penalty, whatever sport this is. I don't want to give you a third one because that'll ruin this game. You need to shape up." And with Serena, it literally was like she said, "You're a thief," and he goes, "Verbal abuse, penalty." Like she wasn't even like at the level of like really aggression that a lot of people get to before they even get like even close to that. That's why it's different in this case.
Right.
Okay. Now, what are the rules?
Who cares? I don't know.
Like that, I think on that stage, the championship, like, rules are like the...
It's a championship game.
Yeah, it's like the biggest deal of like the league, so they kind of take it very seriously, and there's a whole committee surrounding it. That's why she called the refs out, like the ref committee out. So yeah, it's
The point I was like making when I was
It was
addressing
probably
this, it's
warranted,
Like, what? No, but I mean,
maybe.
like, is
it's hard to
okay,
tell.
You can't compare this game and say, well, they don't normally do it in other games.
Right,
It's like, I don't
and that's the
care
problem,
if
right?
maybe they're all doing it wrong. What are the rules?
It's a hard comparison, exactly.
And like
so,
the ref's job is to follow the rules, and it's not really fair to say, well, none of the other refs follow the rules, so therefore it's not fair that you're following the rules. What are the rules? Do
Well,
we
the
know?
difference is like this. Well, first of all, I don't think the word
what?
like there's probably like a list of words or like some kind of line. I don't think thief is one of those. Also, like
yeah, it seems like yeah.
they were also comparing
kinda
this
lame.
ref to other games that he has refed, not just like other refs. It wasn't like, oh, this
Championship
guy
games?
didn't say this. Like, yeah, this guy's been refing for like 20 years or whatever.
Championship?
And, like,
No, but I mean like championship
I don't know.
games.
It doesn't
I'm
matter.
just saying it's a factor.
It doesn't matter.
Is it a factor?
Yes, it does matter. Yeah, it does
I
matter.
don't think it matters at all.
Yes,
You're
it does
reffing a
matter.
game. You're doing
because
your
it's a more
job.
important. It's a more important game, so you have to.
No, I don't
yes,
think
it
that
does matter. Yeah, it does.
I don't think that's your opinion.
Well,
I don't
that's why
think
you're
it
not a
matters.
ref. But the rule of like,
You're not
of
a
like
ref. What the heck?
I know, but I'm telling you that that's the way games work. As the games get more serious, like people literally don't care about the different, what am I saying? Like flags
Yeah.
and stuff that happen in football games that aren't as important because it doesn't really
that's
matter that you
fine.
win. This is a championship
that's
game, and
fine.
so if anything is reffed incorrectly, everyone will lose their mind. So it's more important.
Yeah, and that's fine. I just don't think that regardless of what type of game it is, it shouldn't change your integrity as a ref. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I see what
I
Luke's
agree with
saying.
that too.
Like,
I'm
if
reffing
they
the
were
same
going
way
to be,
for preschool soccer that I am for, the FIFA World Cup. Like, it doesn't matter.
I guess the
Well,
point-
I
the
could,
point is
I
saying
could
that if-
say that I could say the same thing for like no matter what game you're playing, you should play your hardest, but that's also not true.
Yeah, not everyone does. But I see what
you
you're saying.
should.
Like, if
Yeah, but
if
they
he was
don't.
to be
But
a good
that's not
ref,
the
now would
point.
be the time he would
The
be a
point is that
good
you
ref.
should.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're not going to get into the ethics of sportsmanship right now because that doesn't really matter. The point is, like, so I think the main issue that came out of this is Serena was saying that it was like a sexist issue, that she's seen men do the same, like act the same way or worse than her and receive less penalties just because they're a man. And like they're like, oh yeah, they're just being aggressive, or like because like in this like season, from what I vaguely heard about her, she got like penalized for, or like not penalized in the game, but like some kind of reprimand for wearing like a certain kind of suit to play. I think it's called a cat suit or something like that. And then like some other like female player got like penalized for like adjusting her shirt so you could see like her sports bra or something like that. And they're like, well, guys take off their entire shirt, so I can't I just like adjust my shirt? Why is this an issue? I think they're saying like they're pointing out like the inconsistencies between how they handle both genders doing similar things. And that's I think the issue that's coming out of this.
Oh, interesting. I guess I didn't think about the other instances that you compare
Yeah,
the men's
it's
versus
kind
the
of,
women's
I think it's all
tennis.
been building on each other, at least for Serena.
I mean, like we talked about with the whole John McEnroe thing, I mean, the men's versus women's dynamic in tennis has been pretty interesting because it's a sport that doesn't involve. Well, with football, you don't have men's and women's sports, right? Or
Right.
in like
Yeah, you do.
baseball.
What do you
Do
mean?
they do? Do they have professional female football players?
No.
I'm sure they do, but I've never heard of it. I don't know.
I mean, the NFL doesn't.
Yeah, that's
have-
what I meant.
They have a female basketball.
But it's just an interesting
Yes.
sport because it's more about technique than like biology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, apparently, there's a lot of like power that's involved in like men's like serves, which is why the guy was saying that Serena wouldn't be as good as most men just because they can like
Yeah.
serve so much faster and stronger.
That's
but
the
yeah,
idea.
I do think it's less of a brute force game than like football or basketball or something
Right.
like that, where you're like
And that's just an
literally
interesting-
shoving people out of the way.
It's interesting when you compare that with like male and female dynamic. You don't see people talking about that with like NBA or WNBA. You can objectively say
Yeah.
the NBA players definitely have more flash than the WNBA players. But
Right. And I do think that people have a double standard when it comes to aggression from guys and girls, like in that context, because people like go to sports to see dudes like be crazy and like beat the crap out of each other. That's kind of why people like it.
right,
So like they don't. It's not a big deal. Like if a guy's being aggressive, that's normal. He's a football player. He's out there running around and like being all pushing people with their whole bodies and stuff. But like when a woman's doing it, it's uncouth or weird because it's not what you're used to or what you really want in a woman, I guess.
right.
So I don't know. There
I
probably
just don't
is definitely
know
some bias
how.
to it.
I don't know how much I don't know. This stuff is so weird because the context of like she lost the game and now she's bringing this up. It just makes it a little harder to take it seriously because I was talking to my roommate about this, and this is part of the reason I did want to talk about this because I don't really know what I think or why. And when I was trying to explain it, it wasn't going very well. And so I'm irritated that I can't explain it the way I want to, and so I'm getting frustrated that I can't explain it.
Well, you don't have to have a stance now. Like it's okay. It's not really.
I know,
really
but
a
I
stance
also
to
don't
take.
really like the stance that my podcast is like taking, where we're like the direction we're going. I'm like, I don't know if I agree with this, but I don't know why, and I don't really know how to explain it. But I also haven't thought about it very long either, so I'm kind of just making that known.
Well, if you had watched the videos I sent you, Luke, you would know exactly as much as I do. So yeah, there's that. I don't know. It's interesting. I think there are inconsistencies between how genders are treated, but it's not necessarily like. I don't think it's always malicious. I just think people have different expectations.
Well, I think it's like
when
if
they look at
people
different people.
want to make it all the same, which is what everyone claims, but doesn't really enforce, that's what I think it trails into this issue, and that I have a problem with that a lot of time because it's like, do we want everything to be the same or not? Because it's
women
not
do.
really getting the same. No, but they don't really.
Yeah, well, some of them
If I
do.
was like, hey, there's not enough women in prison, there's way more men in prison, what's up with that? Sexism. It's like, I don't think that it's necessarily sexism. I think men are just more aggressive or more, what's the word people use? What is it that makes... what's the-
Disagreeable.
yeah, or something. I don't remember what it's basically like a bell curve thing, but like it's like, well, why are more men CEOs? Why are more men in prison? And if
Right.
it's always sexism, then it's like, okay, so we need to either have less men in prison or more women in prison if it's equal outcome measuring, which I think is silly.
But do you
But there's a
think
reason that hold up, so let me just finish this really
Yeah,
quick. So
go
like
ahead.
there's a reason that there's more men in prison, and I think it's some of it might be legitimate, right? So when people watch everything and say, hey, it's not exactly the same, therefore it's sexism, it's like, well, you're also just oh, this is too complicated. I can't watch my words right now, and I know I'm going to say something that someone's going to have a problem with, and I just can't deal with it.
Well, I mean, I see what you're saying. I think you're right in that context, but I think also like when you're playing the same game and they're treating the rules differently, like players to players, I think that's the issue. Because it would make sense if it was like you're saying,
Yeah, but
like
they're not
in life,
competing
there's
against
different
each
things.
other either, though.
No, but
Like,
they're in the same game.
yeah, but they're not
Same league,
competing
same,
against
the
each
same
other.
people are in charge. The
I know,
same
but
ref also refs
but it's not.
male
But,
games.
but he was reffing the other girl the same way.
Yeah, but what if it? But it's still like just because he's treating both of them the same way, either treating both of them worse than that guy over there doesn't make it right to treat both of them that way. He's being fair maybe in the context of Serena and Osaka.
So
but
why
she's
did-
arguing that they're not being fair within the context of tennis.
Oh, I don't want to talk about this. I just don't know how to bring it up, and I'm too pissed off in general. I'm just gonna say something stupid. It's some person is going to lose their mind, and I
Well,
just don't
No,
care.
that person doesn't matter.
My issue,
Dude,
with
it's
the
fine,
whole-
man.
My issue with the entire situation has nothing to do with male or female, or even really tennis in general. I could really care less about any of those things. My issue with the whole thing is just like as a person, like if I was Serena Williams, I completely understand how she initially reacted the way she did in this situation. Now, continuing on with like the racket thing and the yada yada yada, can't really defend any of that. But the initial thing that really got me when he gave her a penalty for cheating, and I'm thinking of myself, I probably just would have like been like, what the heck? I'm not cheating, but whatever, I'll just take it, right? That would have been me. I like the fact that she stood up for herself and defended herself and told him that, you know, like she's been playing tennis for however long she's been playing and she's never cheated a day in her life on anything. So the fact that he's accusing her of cheating is like ridiculous, and that he's seen her play before and he's reffed her before and like he's never seen her cheat. So why all of a sudden is he going to penalize her for cheating without even giving some type of warning before? And that's a point that she had made too, or that other people in the tennis community that I watched had made, that the fact that he was just giving these penalties without any type of warning. And usually there's like a step-by-step process, like they'll give a warning and then, you know, they'll have like a side conversation with them and then they'll give them a penalty. He was just kind of slapping penalties at her. And so, I don't know, I just like that she defended herself and stood up to him. Because, I mean, I don't want to say that he was a jerk. I don't know him. I don't know what you're supposed to do as a ref. But he came back. I read an interview that he did after the fact, the ref, and he said that he did nothing wrong and he stands by everything that he said and did, like, during the moment and whatnot. So, like, good for you, man. But yeah, I mean, I see some of the points that she's making with the men and woman thing, but I don't think in her case it has to do with that. I think it's the fact that and I don't know if she feels this way, but I feel this way being an outsider looking in. It's the fact that she's, you know, at the pinnacle of tennis, I guess, for maybe both males and females. She's like at the pinnacle for tennis. And so the fact that, you know, you're treating the fact that you're going a lot harder on her than you might maybe somebody else playing is what was like my kind of thing. It's like, of course, you know, you go for the people at the top to try and like bring them down, and not thinking that he was trying to make her lose to, you know, fresh off the boat girl, and that's not a racist joke.
But see, here's the thing that I guess is why I can't see straight on this issue. Is I just hate the crowd for booing at the end. Like that really pissed me off.
Yeah,
I know that it's like
off.
I know that it's like, oh well,
Yeah.
Serena is this could have been her 24th world record.
Yeah.
Win. But it's like, yeah, but this girl has never won this ever, and now
Yeah.
you literally this is like
And
a
she's
dream
young. She's 20
come
years
true
old.
for like
Right.
this kid. It'd be
Yeah.
like me winning an Oscar and everyone boos.
Yeah, about
Yeah,
something else
and
that
it's
has
just
nothing
like
to do with you.
you're just I don't know. I cannot see straight. I think because I'm so angry about.
And
If I spent like here's the thing, like let me just finish this real quick.
yeah,
So
go
like
ahead.
she's 20, which means she spent her whole life practicing, trying to get here, and now she's there, and now there's all this. I don't know. I'm kind of biased because I'm just feeling for her where it's like the whole spotlight was on Serena the whole time, and then right down to like here's your trophy, and then she's in tears because this crowd is like blowing. I don't know. It's just enraging me because you're like dream come true, completely ruined because everyone's so selfish, and like I have a big issue with people being selfish in general, and like I just can't handle it. It's just. Like it ruined a dream come true for somebody, and that's just
Right.
making me lose my mind.
No, yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
we're probably
Well, I like that
all in
Serena-
agreement about that.
Yeah, I like that Serena though. She made the point to, bring it back to that, and told people
Well, I would hope so. Like,
stop booing
I
and
just
whatnot. But like no one else was doing that, you know what I mean? Like it had to be the person who lost like the match.
Right.
Like, hey guys, stop booing about this. It's not about me. Like
Yeah.
let's focus on yada yada yada. She played great. She won. So let's focus on that, and we'll handle the rest when it's time.
I did
to
think that
handle
was
the
super
rest.
cool of her. She was trying to make sure that like it wasn't about.
Yeah, she
Did
had her
anyone-
moment. Yeah.
Did anyone hear? Well, it's her whole moment's ruined no matter what. We can
yeah,
all
for
agree
sure.
on that. But what did anyone know what she said? Didn't she do an interview and say what she said? Like Serena said.
Oh, her post.
Damn it! What am I trying to
conference
say? Serena said in an interview what she said to Osaka. Is that what it is? Osaka
Yeah.
on.
Her name is Naomi. I'm pretty sure that's
Naomi
her first name.
Osaka.
Yeah.
So, did anyone watch the video
I watched.
telling what Serena said on the stage to Osaka?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I think I saw that part though, but I can't remember exactly what she said.
I watched it, but yeah, I can't remember what she said. I mean, it's just
Yeah, I think she said something like,
like
hey, like this is your moment, like enjoy it, like you played
Right.
great, like literally kind of just normal sports stuff, but like she seemed like
Does
she was
anyone
being pretty
know
encouraging
if
to her.
so Naomi would have won without the penalties, but the argument is
Probably.
that maybe Serena would have played better if she wasn't so focused on the penalties.
Well, most people that I've seen talk about it, they said that Naomi was like beating her out of the gate, so she probably would have won. Like there's like it probably would have ended up the same. So I don't think, and people aren't really upset about that. Like I don't think anyone. No, I haven't heard anybody say.
Yeah,
like,
but her victory was taken away from. I guess I just
Yeah.
can't focus. I can't see straight because I'm just thinking about the person who had their dream ruined, and then it's like, well, the sport's sexist, and it's like, well, yeah, we can fix that, but you literally just ruined
yeah,
the
I do
once in
think
a
it was
lifetime moment for this
a
person.
sucky time to bring it up.
I know,
But at
it
the
just
same
seems very
time, though,
selfish. I
Like
can't see
Serena's in
straight.
training. Like imagine like if you were like going to a film festival, Luke, and something random happens, like oh, you can't play your film now because this random stupid thing happened. You're like, oh no, that's not fair. I've been like practicing for this. I've been making this movie all year.
right.
No, but it would be different because it would have been partially my fault. Like part
but
of
you'd
this
still be
was
pissed.
Serena's fault.
Yeah, definitely. But
yeah.
I don't know. I do wonder if like I mean I don't wonder. It definitely was a bad time to like
No.
Bring it
my
up.
thing- yeah.
like
well,
the sexism thing. I guess just because it overshadows this girl's win, and it's kind of a dick move. So I see that part. What were we gonna say, Shayne?
Well, all that stuff. She was saying that before the match was over. So I don't think her her thought process was to distract from the fact because she was making the sexism comments from penalty to the ref about that, and just then obviously media took that and ran with it.
Yeah, totally. I don't think
So
she was trying
like
to be
obviously it got
relevant there.
bigger than it was supposed to be. But my
yeah.
thing is, and just like going back to 'cause I forgot. Thanks, Michael, for saying that because my initial point was it's just to imagine. And this is why I feel like she's so upset about the situation because it's like for me, for example, if say like I'm like, hey, if I like am in some type of competition and it's like, hey, you had to write your own original piece and yada 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 yada. Been working really hard on this, right? And I'm just gonna use my musical for an example. I'm like, all right, this is my musical that I did. Like I wrote the whole thing, choreographed the whole thing, directed the whole thing, yada yada yada. If one of the judges or whatever at this competition tried to tell me like, oh, sir, we're gonna have to like disqualify you because you didn't write like these songs, like you got these songs, you cheated on these songs, you took these songs from somewhere else or whatever. I would be disrespected as fuck because I've been writing songs since I was in middle school. So how dare you tell me that I didn't write these songs?
Yeah.
So giving back my point, so I can continue to play this game and I can sing my songs. So that's how I would so that's why I feel that initial like anger and frustration from her. But I do think then turning into a women's rights movement moment was like, okay, like I get it. I understand. Yes. Bring up issues within your field of work that needs to be brought up. But like, I feel like we're all in agreement on it's just not really the right time.
Yeah, we're all in
Well,
the same boat on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me go
time.
let me go back to your example for a second, Shane. So
Yeah.
I want to see if I can change it a little bit to make it, I think, closer to what it would have been. It would have been like if they said, write your own song, but the song can't be more than 3 minutes. And then your song is more than 3 minutes long. And so they say, hey, you broke the rules, so your song is going to lose points because you didn't follow the rules. And then you said, well, in most music contests, it doesn't matter if it's longer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it doesn't matter. You took a risk and broke the rules, and you shouldn't have taken that risk, especially in a
'cause
championship.
It doesn't matter. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter about other.
Just like,
music
don't smash your
competition.
racket, even though maybe you can get away with it. You took that risk and you smashed your racket.
Yeah.
But even so, that would be like though if Shayne
No.
say Shayne
Okay, I
went over 3 minutes and someone else did the same thing and didn't get the same penalty.
No,
he
but
did.
that's not the same
No,
thing
I
because
understand what- no,
because
I
it would have been a
understand what
different
Luke is saying.
contest.
I understand what Luke is saying. Luke is saying that you can, like what she said, men have smashed rackets before and they've just gotten warnings. They didn't get penalized for it. The rule is that if you smash the racket, you get penalized for it. So even though
It's like
a
speeding.
lot of people haven't
Right.
been penalized for it, you still know that there is the chance that you are going to get penalized for it because those are technically the rules. So you can't necessarily... It's hard to at least play the sexist card when it comes to that because it's like, okay, I see your point, but it's like technically those are the rules.
Well, and like I keep saying, the
it's just
men
like, you
are
know,
not. It's not
whether you
like the
enforce
men
it or
and
not.
women. The men and women are not competing for the same trophy. They're not in the
right.
same contests. They're not playing
Yeah.
together. So it's not like one person has an advantage to win. And so I understand that it's like, well, we should change the rules or the expectations within the women's to match more the men's, but it's not like men have a leg up and they're more likely to win because they're not even competing against each other. That's the big part of it.
Totally.
So I don't understand what people are complaining about other than, hey, we want to change the rules in women's tennis so that we're allowed to smash our rackets and get more frustrated. That's different instead of, hey, in a different league that we don't even compete against, they have different rules, so it's sexist. I don't know.
I agree.
don't-
But I think it actually literally is the same
Well-
people though. Like I think that ref.
It doesn't
actually
matter.
refs
They're not.
others.
I don't
I
know.
know.
How to
I'm
explain
not
that.
saying. I'm not saying that
I
it
know
doesn't
what
mean what
he's
you say.
saying.
They don't. It's not like someone has an advantage here.
Right. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that this guy also is the ref in the other team.
So-
I know,
You're
but
not-
he's reffing two different leagues. You can
Yeah.
ref two different leagues differently.
That's true. So well, I guess like we can move. I mean, I agree. I don't think we can go anything else on this particular topic. But what do you think about like the sexism thing as a whole? Because I think like bottom line, she did break a rule. It's like speeding. Like everyone speeds, and if you get caught, you get caught. You can't be like, oh yeah, well they didn't get a ticket. It's like, yeah, you got caught. So
Yeah, you
have
got
to suck
caught,
it up.
yeah.
But do we like? What about the whole other thing? Like what? I don't know. Because there's a bigger conversation than just like that conversation. I think that's what's making this push out right now. It's just like the overall thing in sports where women feel like they're being like picked on because they're women compared to men.
Well, no, she also said something about because she got like a lot of flack for some outfit that she wore at
Yeah, she wore,
one
like, a
event,
catsuit thing.
or something like that. And then she had brought up a point where some other female tennis player had taken off her shirt and she had a sports bra underneath, and people make a big deal out of that. But she's like, but we let men run off and take off their shirts and do whatever, and no one says anything. So like, what's like
Yeah.
the big and so it's stuff like that where I can stand behind that and
understand
be
that.
like, it's like, yeah, if men can dress however they want to dress for these things, and why can't women do the same thing? Whether you call it distracting or not, like I'm pretty sure like a woman's curves are just as distracting as like abs or something, like for whoever is like, depending on what you're looking for. But
I don't. What's the context of the rule? Like, what was the rule that she technically broke?
I don't know if she broke a rule. There were just a lot of like judgment or criticism around what she was wearing or what these other girls were wearing while they were playing tennis. And her point was just that, but you guys don't make any type of deal when guys are wearing whatever, or that was her point. It's like why is there a dress code for women and not for men? I think is what kind of I got from that. So that I can agree on in terms of like a sexist remarks for that. So I'll give her that one.
I think we solved it.
Guys, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were solving something.
Seriously though, like I don't know what to say. I think.
But congratulations to Naomi. I'm assuming you played a great game. I didn't see it, and yeah, sorry that your moment was taken away from you. Yeah. But you're young and you'll get more moments. So,
well, never be the first time she won.
If first time though, she beat like the 23 in a row champion.
It wasn't the first time she's. I thought it was the first time she played her, but it's not. It's the second time she played her.
Oh really? That's pretty cool though. I can't get over that. It's like.
That's crazy. Like I couldn't imagine like doing something like that with someone I looked up to.
Or something.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine.
That's so cool. That must have been awesome.
What am I doing here?
Yeah. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to reactions to this episode. I really
say what you want, people.
But I also don't care.
That's a good place to be.
Don't.
That's right. Oh. All I know is I don't know what that outfit thing is, but I think we can just all agree that
I think that
it was Osaka's moment, and we wish everyone was focused on that. So
I think that this
that was the more important thing.
This is hard for me to resonate with because I am trying to connect my thoughts on this. I'm trying to connect the thoughts that I have on this with the truth, but it's in the context of a lot of confusion and frustration that happens with me all the time, where every single little thing is so unbelievably blown out of proportion and lied about and twisted and manipulated. And so when this happens, I'm skeptical, like, all right, what was this now? I don't really believe you because everyone blows everything out of the water. So is this just another thing? So it's like, oh, it's sexist. And it's like, well, dude, people say everything on earth is sexist now. So how do I know?
It is.
How do I know if this is worth taking a stand in? Because everyone freaks out about everything.
I think that's just your own personal belief, whether you choose not to.
What do you mean?
Or not. I just think, like you said, how am I supposed to know? I said, I feel like you have an opinion, and it doesn't matter what anyone else says. I think about the situation. If you think something's sexist, you think it's sexist. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, but then how do you decide laws and rulings and stuff like that? That's where this stuff starts getting.
Oh,
because they're because right now.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just going off a personal opinion.
Like I said, this podcast is free. So it's not any of our jobs to get the right answer. So
yeah, I
don't want to hear it. We're just giving opinions and thinking out loud. And so I don't really care about, I don't really want to get criticized for being someone who's, as a group of people coming together trying to solve problems. And this is free.
You don't have to worry. Don't worry
say
about
whatever
that.
you guys
I'm not even worried. I'm
me.
just annoyed because I just don't want to
I understand, but you don't have to tiptoe, dude.
We don't have any
your
fans
podcast.
Anyway. No one listens to us. It's fine.
I know. That's right. It's like,
after this episode,
this isn't your world. Yeah, well, it's my podcast, so it's my role. So
yeah,
I decide how this all goes. But
no worries.
No one listens to us anyway. Hey guys, if you want to yell at us, go subscribe, leave us a review, and then tell us what you think. Leave us a 5-star review, and then go post on our wall how much we suck. Just give us a 5-star review. You can say whatever you want in the comments, in the thing. Right. You'd be like, 5 stars. They're stupid. That's fine.
Nick is stupid.
Yeah, it's true.
Very true.
Okay. Well, you guys want to move on to another topic?
Yeah, let's
I
do
guess
it.
This is mostly.
We were supposed to do this briefly, but.
Yeah. So Elon Musk.
Yeah, he's a pothead now.
What
that
about
means
him?
He's super cool.
Yeah, apparently he gets blasted on the Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah, with his little half of a puff that he did.
His little 1 week puff.
It was like
he didn't even inhale. What a loser!
It was like if he took a straw.
That made me so mad. He didn't even inhale.
Yeah, I don't think he even I don't think he even got any of it.
The only
Yeah, we got
reason
none
why
of
I
it.
even clicked on that podcast is because I heard that that's what he was doing. I said, "Oh, it's about to get real up in here," and then I was like, "Oh, that's it. All right, lame."
Yeah.
Me and Nick both saw it happen live.
Yeah. We stayed up and watched it, and we were like chatting about it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Are you serious?" But I think Luke fell asleep like right after that.
Yeah, I saw him
Luke's
get.
like,
I saw him
"Alright, I
smoking.
came for what I saw what I came for.
It's so weird though, because it really is blowing up a lot. The episode was really funny though. Like Elon Musk is funny because he's so awkward.
Right.
Like Rogan would ask him a question, and there'd be like this awkwardly long pause while he thinks, and he would end sentences like he was gonna say something more, and then just stop. And then Rogan's like, "I'm with you. Keep going," you know. He's like such a nerd, but he's actually really funny.
Yeah.
It's a
I'm
really
really
good
glad
episode.
that he, like, towards the middle of it and then, like, around the end, I guess, he was really, like, letting loose and, like, he got to share a lot more than probably he had planned. I don't know. But he definitely, like, loosened up a lot later through the podcast. And thank you, Whiskey, for that.
What
are people-
but
what are people
there-
mad
people are talking about the stock of Tesla dropping, but isn't there but I heard that like 2 people quit, so it has nothing to do with the weed.
Do people
Right.
quit Tesla?
Yeah, like 2 people high up that like, quit
the
their
head
job.
of HR and
Well-
then his chief accounting officer.
Yeah, because they're like, we can't associate with you, Elon. You smoke weed.
I actually don't think it had anything to do with the weed. I think they left
you
before.
Yeah, I don't
could you
know,
imagine-
yeah.
No.
It's funny.
Like, could you imagine like you're just living your life for like this high paying job at like this company, and then like you're just like chilling, thinking about how the rest of the year is gonna go. You're gonna be making so much money. Your family, your kids are gonna get good ass presents this year, and then you're just like on the internet. You're like, oh look, my boss is on a podcast.
You're like you're watching it live. Like,
Damn it! Just like,
Freaking out.
just, like he just like gets handed the blunt, and
No,
you're just like, oh no, oh, I gotta, don't do it.
yeah, really. You're like,
Inhale.
no.
Dang it, there's
no,
my resignation. All right,
no.
I'm putting on my announcement
What if,
now.
dude?
it's
What
so
if he
funny,
got
too.
blazed?
No,
that
because
been
he
insane.
he
Oh my gosh.
he smokes, and then
make
he's
it
sitting there
worth it.
talking, and then he starts looking at his phone, and Rogan's like, "What, are girls texting you or something?" And he goes, "Oh no, it's just my friends. They're asking me what the hell are you doing smoking weed."
And he was like so casual about it.
Quitting.
Can
He's
you
like,
imagine?
whatever.
Can you imagine all the HR people are like, "No!"
Right? Grandma.
Apparently, he like falls asleep on the floor in his factories or something insane. Like he just like works all the time.
Yeah, he works 120-hour work weeks.
Holy poop.
That is insane.
But I guess if
Yeah.
you're doing stuff you love, it doesn't not work.
Yeah, he gets 6 hours of sleep a night. That's his regimen.
I mean, that's
That's
the same as like any
insane.
college student. Fine.
Right.
The thing that was so interesting about it too is Rogan usually seems to do his episodes during the day, and this one was at like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And the notification popped up, and I was like, "Screw this! I'm not gonna watch this." And then Nick messaged me and was like, "This is
Are you watching
amazing!" And so I
You have to tune in. It was
I
like
was-
as soon as you started pouring the whiskey, I was like, dude, you got to tune in. He's
Yeah,
starting
and
to
I-
let loose.
but it was so funny because the notification went off, and I was like, "Why is it so late?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Elon Musk. He probably works all the rest of the. He's working all the time anyway, and so this is the only time he could get on the podcast or something." But
Yeah, pretty much.
they
I think
talked
that's how it
about-
worked.
they talked about simulation theory. They talked about
really?
AI. Yeah,
I love that
you'd probably
conversation.
like the episode, Michael.
Yeah, check it out. I love simulation theory.
Yeah, and then
So what are people mad about? Like, why
Just
does
that-
it matter that they smoke the weed?
that's. I mean,
It's the devil's
nothing really
lettuce,
matters.
Michael.
Yeah. It's not a big deal.
The jazz nugget.
I mean, you have pretty strong opinions about weed, don't you, Nick? Do you ever want to address those?
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm trying to finish my dinner while doing the podcast.
He's got the munchies. From all the
Yeah,
weed he's
right.
smoking.
That's right.
Eat.
No,
Come on,
Sarah
guys.
came in and just handed me a bowl. I'm like, okay. Oh wait,
must
I
eat
have to
this.
clarify. I have to clarify.
Just
He
smoking
handed
a
me
bowl.
a dinner bowl.
Dude, next you're gonna hear like Nick Conde like smokes a joint on the Luke.
Oh
Moss
my
mic.
gosh. No.
Yikes.
No, it's so weird though because he smoked it in a place that's legal, but it's not federally legal or something. It's like
Yeah,
I don't
that's the
understand how that
issue.
law works.
Is it
Yeah,
just
How does
marijuana
that
law
work,
is
though?
stupid. Marijuana law is stupid. If you
live in
smoke it
Colorado.
within the
Yeah,
state.
because it's legal in California, but it's illegal federally.
Yeah,
so
it
he's
should
getting
be
in trouble
legally-
sort of because
What's
it's
that
not
even
legal.
mean?
It should be legal federally. It should be
That
legal
doesn't even
federally.
make any sense.
I told you Nick had opinions on this.
Dude, the
Well, it's
fact
like a dumb
that
loophole
like
to make something illegal federally but legal locally.
yeah,
Doesn't make
they
any
made
sense.
they
doesn't
made
make
it a
any
state
sense.
they made it a state issue basically because they're not it hasn't been degraded down to a Schedule 2 drug. Excuse me. It hasn't been degraded down to a Schedule 2 drug yet.
What's a Schedule 2 drug?
So it's like the rankings for drugs and their addiction habits and their frequency of use and things like that, and like how dangerous they are. And so the factor with weed is that because people can use it so much and it's so accessible, it's so easy to make, and it qualifies as a drug that you can't. That's not FDA approved or anything like that. It's a Schedule 1 drug, so it's in the same league as like heroin in that realm for the federal government.
That's
in
actually
their
pretty
rankings.
insane.
Yeah.
That's in the same category as heroin.
Yeah,
Heroin kills like 40,000 people a year.
weed still zero, you know,
Yeah.
and so
I mean,
There's-
I still think there's issues with weed. I'll just be honest because
Yeah,
I know
but
people
that's
that
not-
are
right.
there
That's
are
not the
people
issue.
that are like addicted to weed in a lot of ways because they started when they were super young, and then they just get hooked on it and they just get too anxious off of it.
yeah,
But not like an addiction, like a heroin addiction, but just like addiction, like any sort of addiction. That
Right.
happen.
A habitual addiction.
Yeah.
And so it's not something that will kill you. It's not something that has addictive properties attached to it, but it is something that people can, I guess, psychologically become very addicted to because of its ease of use, because of its usefulness, because of as the stigma gets removed. It's just something that helps out in a lot of ways. And so if it was federally approved and corporations utilized it and the free market got a hold of it, it would be a lot more valuable to a lot more people
for the
in a lot of
record,
different ways.
I'm still like iffy about it because I do think that it could have issues. I think people paint it as like there's nothing wrong with it at all.
No, but it should
But
come with warning labels, you know?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, people smoke their lives away, where they're just content doing nothing, and then they spend every day smoking, and then before they know it, it's like, wow, I didn't really do very much, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so I try to say like, hey, you know, don't think it's completely harmless because it could be, you could waste your life smoking too much weed.
Yeah, no doubt. The same way
I think
you
people
could
need to
eat.
address that too.
Totally.
Yeah, the same way you could eat too much dark
And
chocolate.
I think most people. I don't think you could.
I
Even
think it
argue that
depends
weed-
on what you view as wasting your life, but that's just me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just it depends on the person. It's
Well,
not
it depends
necessarily
on-
the
okay.
subject.
All right, I'll
the
clarify.
substance.
I'll
I know,
clarify.
I know what you're saying. I completely know what you're saying.
If I smoke so much that
Forming
all
a
I kind of
reliance
do
on
is if I sit. I mean, here's the thing: someone might want to spend their whole life sitting on their couch watching TV, smoking weed,
Yeah.
right?
They
And
should
if
have the
that's-
freedom to do that.
If that's what they
That's their
want, that's
best
fine.
life. Hey.
But some
Right.
people don't want to do that, but they kind of get into weed, and then before they know it, it's been 5 years, and they're like, "Oh crap! I wanted to be married, and I wanted to have a career, and I wanted to have a job, but I couldn't hold the job because I was just high all the time." And before you know it, it's like, crap! I used up a whole lot. I spent time basically to enjoy the present, and that's not necessarily bad. I don't want people saying I'm saying it's all bad. I'm just saying understand what it is.
right.
Yeah. And I
And
think,
I think
that's.
that
I
that's
agree.
fair.
Do we want to get in that conversation? Because that is a
We
good
got
conversation.
10 minutes or five more minutes. If we want to keep going.
But I mean, at the same time, I think the point here is like, when it comes to being legal or not, that's like what you're saying is valid. But like I don't know. It's weird because it's like, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, I think it's fine to be legal.
Right.
Well, that's why I
In the
think
sense
that
of it being
alcohol-
You have to
legal.
use your own discretion to see if it's the best.
But
thing
we
for
need
you.
to. Luke has a point. We need to understand more about it and its capabilities and its effects on people over a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's partially why more research needs to be done into it. And I think again, it should
definitely.
be made legal in that sense. Like all of these parameters in place. Let's be safe about this. But Colorado has seen major benefits from it, and it's something that we're not utilizing, and that's because of stupid red tape and stupid drug structure and schedule and ranking system that's very outdated. Just update the system. Obviously, you drop marijuana off Schedule 1 for many different reasons. The death factor, the toxicity factor, there's a lot of elements attached to that. And then you won't have this problem. You can make it legal. You can do the right research on it. We have the capability to do that. A lot of other countries are already doing that, and it's very valuable to them in a lot of ways. So,
what benefits? I don't know. I just don't know. What benefits are you talking about that Colorado has seen from it? Like economically, or what?
Yeah, both economically, and less people are dying of opioids, which is huge. And then
People are probably drinking alcohol less.
people are drinking alcohol less. People aren't getting in accidents as much anymore. I think the Washington Post clarified over a long period of time how the car accidents have been reducing, and then the taxes that you make from it, because it's taxed, just goes back to the school system, and we've made a lot of money on it. So there's a lot of economic benefits. It's regardless of the effect of it, it's something that can be utilized in a very great way, I think. So that's where I come from on that. Anyway, sorry.
Is it is there any sort of worry that economically it could hurt things because people might be less motivated and not striving to because the thing about it is if it makes you content doing nothing, it's kind of like a present drug or whatever, so it just makes you enjoy the moment. You don't think about the future or the past, and you even kind of forget the moment, and so it kind of it can vegetabilize people where they don't want to do anything. Do you think that could have some sort of effect on an economy long term?
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's why parameters need to be in place properly. So the way it works here is that it's not recreationally legal in Colorado Springs. It's medically legal. So you have to go to a doctor. Yeah.
No, I thought it was legal.
No, only certain cities. So
what?
Colorado Springs is only medical. The recreational is in a city, Manitou Springs. But there is
where is it just where do you have weed stores and stuff?
So there are a lot of gas stations that you can set up medical cards with, and
I thought it was legal in Colorado.
Not in all spots. Denver, Boulder, it is, but not in Colorado Springs.
I didn't know
cities.
that.
Yeah,
huh.
So that's an interesting thing too. But
it's all legal in Washington, isn't it? I think it's statewide. It's legal.
There are a lot of the people who can afford this stuff are people who are already kind of, I guess, in a class. I don't think it's going to hurt people long term, economically, in that sense of motivation, because people are being really smart about it from both a medical standpoint and a recreational standpoint. The effect of that, the governor Hickenlooper here in Colorado, mentioned, he's okay, we're going to experiment, see if it works. And so far, the economic benefits for the last few years have been staggeringly high. So I don't know.
So what about this? I might sound really dumb to all my weed smoking brethren out there. I don't smoke weed. But what's the benefits? I've heard lots of musicians say that it makes them more creative. I've heard some people say that it makes them more productive because it helps them slow their minds down and stuff.
Different strains have different effects, and basically certain strains will, and this is, my wife got a medical card, so she used it for her anxiety, and that helped her a lot. But depending on the type of cannabinoid that is involved in the strain itself, is going to have different effects with your own cannabinoids, and that's basically the reaction that's happening in your body, because your body produces cannabinoids already, and then it attaches more, and it has different effects on what you do. So in some cases, it affects your brain in different ways. In some cases, it affects your body in different ways, and different strains relate to those different categories. So if you have an indica, it's going to have more of a body high. If you have a sativa, it's going to have more of a head high. And certain head highs will help with creativity, energy, production. And and certain body highs will help with like inflammation, insomnia, paranoia, anxiety, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety, it can be helped
heard it
with
helps a lot
pretty
with
much
that.
all of it. Yeah, it's really effective for anxiety in all situations. I have not. If you are prone to paranoia, I guess, or you're prone to like a really high anxiety, you'll want to take a very strong strain of a sativa because that might make you more paranoid. Because what the head high does is that it just promotes, I don't know, more creativity, I guess, and more possibilities, and expands the mind in that sense because it lowers a lot of inhibitions, and you consider a lot more, and you think about a lot more, and so that's kind of how that works. I don't want to get too crazy into it, but
Yeah, you're good.
there's no need.
Also, like
Yeah,
on the
it's
strains,
a
there's one
whole
more question.
rabbit trail. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'll just-
interesting. And so that more of it needs to get studied. So
Totally.
anyway,
Are the strains different? Are they synthesized or are they different plants or something?
different
Like,
plants,
what
and
different
then
parts of it?
and then I don't know anything about growing it or anything like that, but I know it's relatively easy. It does cost a lot in water though, but I don't think people are encouraged to sell it here. Not
Gotcha.
a lot, just because dispensaries are such a better option, such a more viable option. But I don't know. There's something called concentrate, which is like you squeeze like the leaves or something like that, and it creates like hash or something. I don't really know how that works, but that's what they put in vape pens. They use that in vape pens, and that's supposed to be like super strong. And then yeah, the buds are like the flowers and stuff like that. The stuff that you see in Pineapple Express. So
It's like you could make a whole podcast just chatting about it. Honestly, it's always anytime.
Yeah,
it's always
exactly.
like anytime you ask someone who's big into weed about it, it's like, oh no, here we go.
it's like beer and
There's
like
so
beer
many,
or whiskey,
Yeah, because
right?
think about beer or like whiskey or coffee. There's so many little like, yeah, the flavors of the thing, you know, and it just goes on. Like it gets complicated.
Yeah, I
And,
researched the hell out of it when Sarah was looking at her medical card for it, and then we pulled the trigger. And there's CBD oil that's really huge. That helps out a lot with a lot of people, and that should be federally legal tomorrow. Like that's silly that that's not legal, because that doesn't give you the high from THC at all. THC and CBD are different kinds of cannabinoids that also attach and have completely different effects in that sense. But anyway, so yeah, I just happen to know a lot about it.
He's like, it's no big deal. I
I'm
just
not
know
like super
everything.
into it or anything. I just, just hear things when
All
I'm
right.
walking around.
We do need to wrap this up.
We'd do.
We'd need to
Do.
finish this podcast. Plugs. Shayne, do you have any plugs?
Yeah, you can check out the podcast that I host called the Pop Talk Podcast, where we talk about music and pop culture related things. I really like the episode that's currently out. That one's pretty good, I think. And then we also are supposed to be, when this episode comes out, well, whatever, it's supposed to be tomorrow. We were supposed to record. We're going to have a local artist come in and talk to them, and they were actually going to like perform for their single and stuff and whatnot. But with this hurricane coming, we might have to postpone due to weather. But if not, that's to be a really cool conversation to check out as well. But yeah, on SoundCloud and iTunes, you can just look up Pop Talk Podcast. You can find that there. Follow me on Twitter, Mr. McCatty, MrMCCATTY. Yeah, that's it for right now.
Sweet. Good
Cool.
podcast, guys. You should check it out.
Thanks.
It is. And the sound quality is going up.
Ooh, ooh. The quality of everything is going up, but
That's so true.
But I mean, like, you literally got new microphones and stuff, so, or like a new
yeah,
setup,
yeah.
and it sounds way better. And
Yeah.
and so if you want to hear Shayne and his hosts' lovely voices, they
And I
are
play a
in
lot
full
of
glory
good
with
music.
the new microphones.
And crispy audio.
Michael,
Check out my podcast. It's called We're All in the Same Boat. I go on with a few of my friends. It's super good. Check it out. We've always
That
had great
podcast
sound
sounds
quality.
horrible.
But no, just if you want to know what I'm doing, just follow me on Instagram, Michael Dimas, MyKolDimas, and that's where I post everything that I'm doing, so you'll know what I'm doing that way. That's it.
Okay. Nick.
I love drumming. That is, I love drumming with no G, all one word. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, I have one more plug.
Cool.
Don't forget to follow Nick on Twitter.
Dang it.
Actually, dude, right as you started talking, I was like, oh no, I should have added like Nick's Twitter at the end of my plug.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna make a Twitter
right.
just to follow you. Which I think I do have a Twitter. I don't know.
You don't need to have one. It's fine.
That's right.
Useless.
It's trash.
Just text me your tweets.
Okay, guys. Ooh, don't do that.
How you feeling, Luke? Was this a good podcast?
I'll listen to it tomorrow. I mean, it's a fine episode. I think we
Might
talked
have
about
found
last.
right there.
I'm gonna have to listen to it.
Oh gosh.
I feel good.
I feel good.
I feel good. So, you can follow me, YouTube, Luke Roxwold Vlogs, where I put up videos. I haven't put one up in a little while, but I literally have 2 videos that I'm working on that I need to just finish up and upload. But I've been kind of distracted, and I just got to get them out. You can follow my Twitter, Luke Roxwold, LukeRockswold. Unlike Nick, you can actually follow me. Go do it. And now I also want to remind you, if you do want to support us, we don't want your money. We do, actually.
I mean,
But
I will gladly
we don't.
take it.
Wait, yeah, wait.
Why? How come, you all interrupt me when I'm trying to, get people to leave us reviews?
Because
It's
you're
just supposed to be
telling
good for
lies,
all
man.
of us.
Yeah, wait. I
I'm
really would
doing
like
this-
some money.
I'm doing this for you.
My PayPal is.
You almost told them not to give us
If
money.
I was going to be funny and say to give us money anyway, but it's ruined.
You gotta be funny faster.
Good
Don't you
joke,
ruin your
Luke.
own moment, Luke.
Good joke, man. Wow, that was a great joke.
All right, leave us a review. Make sure it's 5
Give
stars.
us
Thank you
all
guys
your
so much for
money.
listening.
Leave us
We
5
love you guys
stars.
so much.
Hey, I'm the
Your
host.
support is very appreciated, and we don't know where we would be without you. Thank you guys so much again for your support. It really means the most to us. Make sure you're following us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher, or whatever that's called.
That's right. Yay.
That was the best ending ever. Thanks,
Hey.
Shayne.
Outro music.
Outro
Outro music.
There you go, Luke.
All right. Yeah, thanks, guys.